Welcome to Smithville Chamber Chatter, coming to you from historic Smithville, Texas. We're here to talk about all things Smithville, including upcoming events, updates and tips for and about local businesses, important news, election updates, and more. Brought to you by the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce, I'm your host, April Daniels. Welcome to our podcast. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Smithville Chamber Chatter podcast with your host, April Daniels. We are excited to be continuing our podcast series today, sponsored by the Smithville Area Chamber of Commerce and today's sponsor, First National Bank. Our guest is Dr. Robert Dougherty. Good afternoon, Dr. Dougherty, and thank you for being our guest on the Smithville Chamber Chatter podcast.
April, thank you so much. I'm so excited. We feel honored. I know even with a pandemic going on, I took a look at the newsletter and the chamber, we got people, businesses opening left and right, all kinds of things going on. And it really makes me excited about what's to come. So thanks for all your good work. I sure appreciate it. And I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. And again, thank you so much for being here. Now, I know, Dr. Dougherty, your practice has been in Bastrop County for many years there in the city of Bastrop. Can you tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about your choice to practice medicine here in our area and a little bit about yourself and your staff?
Okay. Well, I guess the first disclosure is I was a Yankee, so I was born in Connecticut. But after graduating college, I joined the Navy and had a wonderful career there. A Gulf War veteran as a pilot in the Navy. And my last tour of duty was as a flight instructor there in Corpus Christi. And so as I got out of the Navy after about 9.5 years, it was time to do something different. And since I had been pre-med in college, well, the natural thing to do was to start trying to get into medical school, which fortunately I was blessed to be able to go to the University of Texas and graduate there in San Antonio with medical school. And so then came, where am I going to go? So I've always been drawn to smaller areas and to neighborhoods and to sidewalks and families that know each other, neighbors that know each other, and people that are more cohesive. I was never really a city kind of a guy. I love to go, but I'm always like to come back home. And so I was so blessed to get a really great offer from what used to be Smithville Regional Hospital to kind of set up a practice here in Bastrop. And they helped me out greatly, and there was no turning back. Just love it. Love being part of a smaller community, but yet big enough to do lots of neat things. As we started to open up this practice, we thought, well, how do I run a business? How do I do this? And we came up with our simple vision, which is, treating your family like our family. And so as we started, that was what it was all about. And it still is today. I'm so blessed to have a wonderful staff that understands that that's what's really important, is taking care of people and being part of a community, which is small, but yet a very tight-knit community. I found Smithville and Bastrop, it's been wonderful, wonderful people and places to go and things to do. And so when someone would call on the phone and they'd say, Miss So-and-so wants to know what we can do, I always go, well, if it was your mom, what would you say? And that always answers the question. It always seems an easy way to take care of business if you just treat people the way you would treat your family. And it has been what we've been doing now for almost 20 years. And we have an office that we all feel like a family. It's small but powerful. We have, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we permanent staff members. Then we've got 2 nurse practitioners that I'm also blessed to have in the practice to help people when I'm not available. So
certainly. Well, I can certainly hear and appreciate your passion for our community. And I'm excited to hear that Smithville played some part in bringing you to Bastrop County. That's exciting to hear.
Well, I'm a train fan, so I always find my way somewhere, even if it's just watching the switching over there by downtown.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. And I know lots of people that come and use your services and just rave about what a wonderful bedside manner you have. And I'm
That's
excited.
very kind. That's wonderful.
Yes, sir, of course. Now, I know, just to turn to a little bit more of a serious topic, right now, of course, as we kind of navigate this strange coronavirus time, I know our listeners and viewers would love to hear from you as a medical professional would you be okay? Would you give our listeners and viewers a little bit of advice about how they could navigate their health concerns?
Yeah, very important. Absolutely. And with this pandemic, it's something that we haven't, I don't think, really faced yet, even as medical professionals, something on this wider range or a larger scope, I should say. And it are strange times. It's very difficult you've probably heard conflicting information from even the same source sometimes. And so everyone is wondering, well, what do we do? What do we do? And then you get social media, and you've got Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all kinds of places where you can get information. And it becomes very difficult. And what unfortunately that leads to, it seems, is misinformation and confusion and fear, unfortunately. And I even find as a medical professional, it's difficult to sort out what exactly I'm going to keep, what I think is valid, what I think is not valid. So what I've been telling my patients is this: we have to remember one thing. The first and foremost is that this is a virus, and it is in most cases not going to be harmful. The vast majority of people are going to get this virus and may have symptoms no worse than the common flu if they have symptoms at all. The second thing to remember is that from the very start of things here, the goal has been to reduce the frequency or the rate of transmission, flattening the curve, so we don't overwhelm our healthcare system. And it has not been to prevent the disease. The disease is with us. It's going to be with us for a long time. So keeping those two things in mind, I want my patients to know that, look, if you have serious medical conditions, if you're immune compromised, if you're undergoing cancer treatment, if you're elderly, if you've got healthcare concerns, you should protect yourself. And that's from hand washing to face masks to social distancing when appropriate and when you can do that. That being said, oh my goodness, isolation, loneliness, that leads to depression and poor health. So we really have to figure out how to balance this. So I want my patients to take precautions. I want them to know that there's a risk, and everything we do, we live in a world that is full of risk, unfortunately. And influenza has been with us for a long time. I suspect coronavirus will be with us for a long time. And so take precautions as you can, especially more so if you're in one of those serious conditions where you are prone to getting the disease, and live. Right? We've got to be neighbors, help each other, get out there. Don't not help someone because you're afraid of coronavirus, because it's going to be here. Take precautions. I think that's the most important thing to remember about this. And
thank you. That's excellent advice. Thank you, Doctor, very much. And I hope those of you that are listening and viewing in today will take some comfort from those words from one of our medical professionals right here in our community. Telling you his best advice for what you need to do. I want to take just a real quick moment to thank today's sponsor, First National Bank. Thank them for sponsoring our podcast today. So, Dr. Dougherty, I have heard a lot about your concierge service for your patients, a lot, and I'm excited for you to tell our listeners and viewers about it. I also understand you are having a big event on August 22nd, so let's hear all about it.
Okay, well, I guess we'll start with the concierge practice.
Yes.
I am so blessed. I love my job. I love medicine, and starting a practice here in Bastrop has been wonderful. But what I found as time has gone on over the last 10, 15 years is that it's become much more difficult to spend as much time with people as I want to spend with them. And I've also started to continually learn about medicine. And what I have found is that there are many pieces of the puzzle of good health. There's more than just a prescription, right? There is what you eat, and there's your exercise, and there's maybe essential oils, maybe there's some meditation, maybe there are, a spiritual center. There's many things that contribute to good health, okay? Maybe it's how you feel about yourself. And so I find myself wanting to spend more time with people and get more to the root cause of what's going on with their medical problem. Even if it be hypothyroid or diabetes or hypertension, there's ways to take care of that, maybe without a medicine. I still have a prescription pad and I still write it, but there may be other ways. The thing is that takes a lot of time. And so what I found was the best way for me to give that level of care was to have a concierge program. And with that program, there's an annual fee and no insurance doesn't cover it. I'm sorry to say. But so what do you get for that, right? You get a personal doctor. What you get is, your annual exam may be 90 minutes. Any visit could be 90 minutes. We spend as much time as you want to. When people come in with their list, we go through the list. Sometimes you want to be able to call the doc when you're at HEB and say, you said to be on a low carbohydrate diet. How about this? Will this work? I'm there. You've got my cell phone. I talk to people 24/7, weekends, evenings, whenever it is. Maybe, one of my dreams about being in a small town was carrying that little black bag, right? I have one and I make house calls and I do that. And that's part of what we do.
Wow.
So it's different things to different people. I've had some folks that have very chronic illnesses and many specialists, and it's confusing. You can get lost along the myriad of different pathways in this medical world that we have now. So I'll go to the visits to the specialist with them. So when the specialist says, hey, why did he send you here? Or, I didn't get that lab, it wasn't faxed. I'm, ta-da, here I am right here. Here's this. And you can make the most of those visits with specialists. So the people that are in it, I think, truly enjoy it.
Wow. I have to say, I'm blown away by that. What an amazing service that is.
It's fun. It's satisfying. I just came from a house visit, honestly, just a half hour ago.
I can speak to this personally. My husband had a heart attack about a year ago.
Okay.
And went from 5 medicines to 14 medicines. And he has all these doctors and all this chronic issues. And it's very, very frustrating. And you have to try to get all these people on the phone and get it all explained to you. What a neat program.
Yeah, it's difficult. And then, moving forward, I guess, with understanding different pieces of the puzzle of wellness, I'm always learning, and I learned another piece of the puzzle. And this was this last year. We have a laser that we do aesthetic facial treatments on, photo facials, but we can also get rid of acne scars and surgical scars and stretch marks, things like that. Well, so when you start learning on something like this, what do? You call your mom. So I did a facial laser treatment on my mom. And the very next day, because she lives with us, she came into the kitchen and she was crying. And I thought, oh no, what happened? I said, Mom, what happened? She goes, my face, look at my face. And I said, it looks good. Are you okay? She said, yes, it's beautiful. For the first time, I feel like my outsides match my insides. And I was overwhelmed. And then you know what she did? She went to Jazzercise. And she just turned 80 in July 4th. So she went to Jazzercise 3 times a week. So this woman that was, I don't want to say she was isolated, but now she's exercising. Now she's got increasing her social circle and talking with people because she feels so good about herself. She wanted to get out and get around. And I thought, do you know how hard it is for a family practice doctor to get someone to exercise? It's hard. I didn't even ask her to exercise. It was her own idea. And so I realized that there's more things than just medicine that help people feel good and that helps their health. And so we're so excited. One of the things we're doing, you mentioned this coming, I guess August 22nd, Saturday, August 22nd, is we've got another laser. It's called Sculpture. And so Sculpture is kind of neat. It's behind me there. You can see there with all the wavy Star Wars kind of looking apparatus. But what it is it's a laser that performs non-surgical permanent fat loss. That's pretty neat. Takes 25 minutes. It's a 25-minute treatment. Do it on your lunch break. Do it after work, whenever you're going to do it. And when you're done, you can go about your business and do whatever you want to do. You can go back to work. You can get back to your life. And so with 2 25-minute treatments, 6 weeks apart, you get the permanent destruction of 24% of the fat that was in that area that we treated. And that's pretty darn neat. That's pretty good.
So are you going to be doing some, on the 22nd, can people come in and learn about that?
people can come in and we'll have people undergoing a treatment. So you can talk to them. You can talk to them while they're sitting there, and it kind of gives you an idea of all the questions. Does it hurt? Does it take a long time? Well, there you go. Not really. No, it works great. So you'll be able to talk to people, and we're going to have amazing COVID discount prices for people because, well, look at a lot of people, aren't as financially viable as they were previously. I mean, and I'm not going to say that I put on 15 pounds over COVID, but maybe I did. And even for those they're serious working out people, there's always that one area that bothers you that might be what turns the tables for you and helps you. We can do under the chin as well. And we can get rid of this kind of thing that I need to do myself. But again, it's when you feel good and you look good, your health is better. It truly is. I mean, there's a lot to that. Being happy is a good thing.
Absolutely. I love this whole body approach, mental and physical. That's really great.
Yeah.
Can you just, as a last word, I know this is sort of administrative in nature, but tell our listeners and viewers where you're located and how they can contact you all.
Okay, so we're in Bastrop. The address is actually 623 Highway 71 West. Now that's where the Garner Riley, the physical therapy building is. If you're heading on 71 and you've left Smithville to come see us, as you go down 71, we're on the right-hand side just before you get to Lowe's. So if you hit Lowe's, you went just a little too far. And just pull in the parking lot there, there's a sign there, and we'll put some banners out so people can know what's going on. And of course, at any time, if you're interested in the practice, we're certainly able to talk to you about that. I've got lots of information and flyers, either if you need me to mail it to you or you want to come in. If you want to come in and sit down and talk to me for 10 minutes, just because you're not sure if maybe you want to do this or not, call and schedule a free consult. You can come on in and talk to me and decide for yourself.
Fantastic. And I'll also be sure to let our listeners and viewers know that you can always find Dr. Dougherty by visiting the Smithville Chamber of Commerce website, and he is prominently displayed right there under medical professionals.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Thanks, April.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Dougherty, for appearing with us today on this episode of the Smithville Chamber Chatter podcast.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed myself. Thanks.
Great. I'm so glad. We invite our listeners and viewers to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to Spotify and iTunes, and go to our Facebook page for our Chamber Chatter episodes. Be sure to join us next time. And until then, enjoy Smithville, a big small town experience. Thank you for listening to Smithville Chamber Chatter with your host, April Daniels. If you'd like to be a guest, email us at april.daniels@smithvilletx.org. Between now and our next episode, be sure to check out the Chamber's website at www.smithvilletx.org. Until then, we'll see you on Main Street.